Hi folks, hope you're doing well. While we're all sat at home, there's never been a better time to start a one-man band. Got a lot of musicians watching the channel and no doubt they're thinking, well, be a good time to get some ideas down, get some music recorded, but they haven't got all the things that they need or they're not quite sure what they need to become a one-man band or be able to record at home. So I thought I'd make this video, just chat about a few of the things that you need just to get you up and running off the ground and get some music recorded. So what have we got? Made a quick list here of the things that we need. Just going to run through this and give you an idea of what's available. Obviously, you need a computer. Pretty much everyone's got a computer nowadays, but don't think that you need a super high-powered brand new computer. As long as it's not over kind of 10 years old, you're going to be able to get the job done. You'll be able to record pretty basic, drums, bass, guitar, and vocals, create a song. But if you've got a higher end PC, you'll have absolutely no problems whatsoever. Now, what you do need is an audio interface. And what that is it's just a little box that lets you plug, it's like an external sound card. It lets you plug your guitar or your microphone or your bass or whatever into it. And then that runs it into the computer and just it's an interface between the two. They're not very expensive. There are some expensive ones now. They're coming out with some new, more high-tech ones. But for a pretty basic, normal input, I use the Scarlett 2i2. It's got two interfaces, which means I can do my guitar in one side and the vocals in the other. And then that cost me, I think it was about $100. You can get a one input version that's a bit cheaper, but in my personal opinion, I would go with the two input version. Just gives you a bit more options and a bit more versatility. Now, obviously, you're going to need some instruments to play. We've got a lot of guitarists and bassists and vocalists on the channel. All of you are going to, I guess, have an instrument to play, but you might not have both bass and guitar. You can get away with not having a bass because you can use MIDI drums and they are MIDI bass, sorry, and they are pretty good. But in terms of MIDI guitar, it's getting better. It's going to get there eventually, but at the moment, it just doesn't quite sound right. So if you're just a bassist, probably still going to want to get yourself a cheap guitar just so you can put some live guitar down. But yeah. Now you are going to need a microphone. I just use this Shure SM58. It's a pretty standard, industry standard microphone. Gets the job done for everything that I need. If you want to go and get a compressor mic and things like that, that's up to you. But yes, the Shure SM58 does the job, and they're not expensive. It's readily available, so get yourself one of those. If you're doing just instrumental work, obviously you don't even need a microphone, so it's up to you. Now, what you are going to need, and it's very important, is your DAW, and that's your workstation where you're going to record everything, mix it, master it, use the effects on it, and everything else. Now, you can end up spending a lot of money for the kind of Pro Tools and expensive stuff out there. You don't need to. You can get a free program called Reaper, which you may have heard of. I know a lot of people are using Reaper out there. It's a good program. There's nothing wrong with it. Very good effects. I actually use Reaper effects in my own DAW. But the DAW that I use is called Mixcraft. The reason I went with Mixcraft is because it's a very user-friendly interface. I hadn't used anything like this before when I was starting out, and I figured, well, a friendly user interface is a good idea, and it was. Always been easy to use, works like a typical Windows program. All the buttons are where you'd expect them to be. So I would recommend Mixcraft, and the deal that I got on Mixcraft was it came with about $1,000 worth of expensive VSTs, pro quality VSTs, Isotope, Waves, all the good companies. And what that's meant is I've never actually spent another penny on VSTs, and it's pretty much had everything that I need. Now, we will come on to VSTs because there's a lot of free stuff that you can get with that as well. So you never spend a penny on VSTs. Now, once you've got your DAW, you're going to have to figure out how to use it before you can actually get any of your ideas down. And this is a bit of a learning curve. It's a bit of a rabbit hole. Take it one step at a time, watch some YouTube videos, get an idea of how to get the basic recording down and what you're kind of looking for in that. But you are going to have to spend a bit of time learning how to do this, but we've got time on our hands. And once you've learned how to use your DAW, the world is your oyster. You can make any type of music. It doesn't have to just be heavy metal. You can make any music, and it really opens up just limitless creativity. So it's a good skill to learn. Now, you are going to need some drums. If you're a drummer at home and you can mic up your drums and all of that, good on you. But most of us aren't going to be able to do that. And even if we can do that, it's miking up drums and EQing them and processing all the drums is very heavy duty. And if I'm talking to guys that are just starting out, that's going to be way above what you're going to be doing at this stage. So get yourself some MIDI drums. There's free MIDI drums if you want to just start out and check them out. I think one's called Power Drummer. Google that and you'll get a free set. Sounds pretty good, gets the job done. But at some point you're going to want to think, well, I need some better drums, better sounding drums, drums that suit my music a bit more. And there's a bunch out there. If you're into lo-fi black metal, there's ones for that. There's expensive ones like Easy Drummer and Superior Drummer. They're very good, but what you do find is because a lot of bands use those, your music can end up sounding, at least in the drums, a bit like other bands. Now, if that suits your taste and you want to sound a bit like other bands, then that's fine. But what I personally like about being in a one-man band is it's very personal to you. All the music's your own, all the ideas are your own. And because of that, I tried to find a drum kit that really suited my style of music. What I found was the Kurt Ballou Signature Series, which is essentially the Converge drum kit, very hardcore, raw, natural sounding drum kit, which suited my music down to the ground. And I like the fact that not many people use it. It's a very distinct sound, and it gives my music that kind of personal touch. Which I really like. Very good cymbals in that program. I'll probably do a video on that program because it's a very, very good program. Good price point as well. Now, once you've got your drums, you're actually ready to go. You'll have all the elements you need now to get your ideas down, start creating music. Once you've learned how to use your DAW, you know, the options really are limitless. It should come with enough VSTs to get the job done, to get a standard mix down. And say at this stage, your mixes probably aren't going to be the best anyway. My first mix was pretty terrible and they've got better since then. And that's how it goes when you're starting out the gates. But at some point you are going to think, well, I want to get some more VSTs. I want to get a different sounding reverb. I need some stereo spectrum or different distortions and stuff like that. So you are going to want to look at some VSTs at some point in the future. Now, I made the mistake of downloading like 200 VSTs. I thought, right, I'll get as many as I can and that'll give me a million options and that'll be great. And I actually found that to be a mistake because not only about 90% of them redundant because they just did the same thing as something else, it actually gave me option fatigue where there were just too many options. I was trying out a bunch of different stuff, didn't really figure out how it worked properly, didn't get used to the program. And yeah, I wasted my time really doing that. So I wouldn't recommend that. Just stick with the VSTs that come with your DAW. And then once you get to the point you think, oh, I need something else now and I'm not finding it within the DAW, that's when you look for a new VST. But Google free ones because everything out there is for free. They're as good quality as the expensive stuff. And if you want to start throwing money at the screen for VSTs, your wallet's going to empty very, very fast because they're expensive and they tend to only do one thing at a time. So you can end up spending a lot of money on that. Yeah. An important thing that you are going to need, and everyone's going to have this in some capacity, is speakers and headphones. Now, when you get to you've recorded all your music, you've got a mix, you think you've mastered it down and everything else, what you're going to want to do is listen to it on a bunch of different speakers, headphones, whatever you've got. And I thought, right, well, I'm going to need a bunch of studio quality speaker monitors because, you know, if I'm going to mix good music, it's got to be on good speakers. And while there is some truth to that, at the end of the day, what you'll find is they're only one of the sets of speakers that you actually need to listen to your music on to get a good mix. And there's a bunch of others that you need to listen to it on. You need to listen to it on headphones. And the headphones that I would recommend are these AKG studio headphones. They're cheap. They've got a very good flat sound. They don't boost any of the frequencies, so you really hear how your mix sounds. And they're lightweight, you can wear them forever, and they sound good. So I would recommend a set of these headphones. But when it comes to speakers, you can spend a lot of money on good speakers. I actually got the 8-inch Yamaha, very, very nice speakers, but I got a good deal on them. Basically got two for the price of one. So it was kind of, the deal was too good to pass up. But what I've found is actually, whilst they're very nice speakers, because you have to listen to it on your headphones, you need to listen to it in your car is a very good place to listen to your music. You need to listen to it on like your earbuds that you wear with your phone and on your speakers, that actually, at the end of the day, it might sound good on your speakers, but if it doesn't sound good in the car and it doesn't sound good on your other headphones, then it doesn't really matter, because you're going to have to tweak your mix to make it sound pretty good on them all. And that's how it works. So headphones are more important than speakers, in my opinion, because when you're wearing your headphones, the music's right into your ears. You're hearing everything that's going on. That's why I wear the headphones, to listen to the music on the channel, because I want to hear all the different aspects of the music. And I say these are very, very nice headphones for pretty good price. So when it comes to your speakers, if you've just got PC speakers or whatever, don't worry too much at this stage. Don't go, shoveling a load of money on speakers. All right, so looking at this list now, let's say you've got a guitar and you've got a bass, you've got a computer, obviously, but you do need to get yourself a DAW. You maybe want to get some MIDI drums. You need to get a microphone, and you want to get a set of these headphones. I'm going to say that you're going to look at most probably about $300. So that might be out of range for a few people, but it's about the price of a fairly cheap instrument nowadays. And once you consider that, once you've got these elements together, you've opened the door to being able to create as much music as you want. You can do it at home, you can do it in your free time, and you can get your ideas down as soon as they come into your head. You can jam at the guitar, you can do it straight through the DAW, you can create all your own tones and things like that, which I've got other videos on, and it really opens up a world of creativity for a one-man band, or even a couple of guys. I make all the music in my band, but I've got another guy that does all the vocals. You can hook up that way. He's in America, I'm in the EU. So we're a band on 2 continents, and it really opens up a whole world of creativity. So I just thought, while you sat at home, maybe this is something to think about. Start your journey on the road as a one-man band, or a couple of guys sharing music over the internet. Get some creativity out there. So I hope you found this useful, guys. Just an idea I had to inspire people. That's all. Cheers. Bye.